Hey, Redx audience. Welcome to the Redx podcast. I'm Hannah Rabe. Today, we're talking with someone who embodies grit, mindset, and the core fundamentals of classic prospecting, but in a way that feels fresh and modern. Nicole is with us from eXp Realty, started her business back in 2006 before the market crashed as a single mom who had to make real estate work for herself and her family. She built everything in her career by calling FSBOs, expireds, and canceled long before the technology of Redx was easily accessible, and made everything so much easier. What I love about Nicole is how she's blended those early skills with a modern system to lead a team, teach agents how to build a long-term business that attracts opportunity rather than chasing it. She calls her philosophy prospecting-based, marketing-enhanced real estate. And we're ready to dive into it today. Nicole, welcome.
Thanks, Hannah. It's so exciting to be here.
All right, Nicole, we just dropped it. You got into real estate before the crash. Take us back to 2006 when you first raised your hand and were like, I can do this. Tell us what brought you into real estate and what did those early days even look like?
So I had just moved here from the East Coast. Didn't know anyone. My realtor that sold me my house here said, you should get your real estate license. You'd be really good at it. My youngest was just about to go into kindergarten. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have 2 school-age kids. Like, I can do this. And so as this is all happening, 2006 is happening. And if anybody's old enough to remember that what was going on in the economy, next thing I know, there are Hummers being towed in the parking lot of the real estate offices. Like, it was bad, fast.
Wild.
The ship was sinking. And I was just like, failure is not an option here. Like, we get to figure this out. And so I didn't know anything about Redx or whatever. I started going on Craigslist and looking at people that were trying to rent their homes because they couldn't sell them because they were upside down. And that's how I started working for rent by owners. And that was how I got my first 7 listings from an investor. That was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And then, I was like, what else can I do? So I used to trot down to the supermarket on Sundays and get the Sunday paper and grab my little highlighter here and circle the for sale by owners that would advertise in the Sunday paper. So I'm as old school as you can get on this.
I love it. Put in the work when it wasn't easy. Okay,
Yeah.
Tell me about those type of struggles. What did those struggles early on shape in the way that you approach your business today? Do you still do some of that old school stuff that you did in the beginning? What have you taught your agents now that you're a team leader of some of your old stuff you did versus what they have access to now? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, what that taught me in starting during a really challenging time in real estate in 2006 was, one, how to keep a super strong mindset, because the sky was falling for the majority of people that had been really spoiled in this business. And spoiled, I don't mean that they didn't work. I'm just saying they had double the price points because the market prices went down. So they were making half the money they used to. So I learned really quickly how to overcome a lot of negativity, keep a strong mindset, and keep my own self-belief. Number 2 was just perseverance and dedication. Like, just no matter what it takes, failure was not an option. And I coach a lot on that today because a lot of people have the same mindset that's so bad out there. And listen, it's not great. It's not as great as it's been the last 5 or 10 years, but it's nowhere near what it was in 2006. So we keep trudging forward with the basic daily activities.
Yeah. I love that. You created opportunity when most people were exiting in 2006. So let's talk back to 2006. You told us where you were getting your leads from. You called yourself an old school prospector when we talked previously before the podcast. What did prospecting really look like for you in the beginning? So you went after investors with the FRBO idea. You were circling the FSBOs. Any other lead types you were hitting? And tell us about those first few conversations. And then what was your prospecting schedule? What did it look like for you?
My prospecting schedule, that's a great question. My prospecting schedule is exactly the same today as it was then. I was taught early on to protect my morning schedule. And with being a single mom, I had to protect my time. Like, my kids were dropped off at 8 a.m. or 7:30, somewhere in that range. I was dressed, hair, makeup, ready to go to the office, get on the phone. And then I had to leave by 2:30, 3 o'clock. So I didn't have the option to fool around all day. I had,
Yeah.
6, 7 solid hours of work time. And then it was anything else would have to be done from my home. And that wasn't a big thing then to work at home.
Right.
So that's what my prospecting schedule looked like. Technology has simply made it easier to access the data. I have an abundance of data. I was coaching an agent the other day and I said, you want to call expireds? Well, great. I have 10 years worth of data. What do you want to call? And who do you want to call? And how old of a lead or a data do you want? Because I've been a subscriber to your service for so long. So I also get asked a lot, who do you call? Like, everybody thinks there's some magic code or something. The truth is, I'll talk to anybody. Like, anybody that wants to talk to me, I'll talk to them at a networking event, an open house, on a telephone call. Like, it doesn't matter the lead source. There's no magic formula or potion. It's just about learning the basic scripts of what to say, getting over the nerves, right? Practicing and role playing. And then once you have a handle on it, getting on the phone, because the best place to practice is repetitively doing it every single day. And you'll have those moments where you're like, why did I say that? But it doesn't matter. You won't say it again tomorrow and the day after that. And so you continually get better by just executing and implementing on a daily basis.
I love that. Daily habits and discipline always win for sure.
I know, it's so boring and old, but it works.
Why would you reinvent the wheel when it works?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about that. We're still doing what works, but what have you modernized as, technology has changed in the industry? How have you evolved your approach?
Great question. I am an old school prospector, so it was a big pile of resistance to get me to get into social media, to get into getting Google reviews, and it probably has hurt me a little bit. But I mean, we're getting caught up and accepting that there's more than one way to skin this cat.
Absolutely.
So I'm still calling my just listed, just sold. I'm still calling expireds, withdrawns, canceled, which is back in its heyday. Lucky for me. But I've also implemented procedures, programs, processes as far as having some support that is marketing online and doing the social media posts, and I'm doing the podcasts and all different things to use media and video and social media platforms to increase my presence and make sure that my clients know what it is I'm up to.
Yeah. I love that. So marketing enhanced really means to you, past being on the phones, kind of what we internally call passive prospecting. So
right.
Building your brand, putting it out there, showing people what you have on social. What else? Do you run any ads? Do you do anything past that? Do you do postcards or mailers? Are you door knocking?
I have. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I have tried all that stuff, but the challenge with postcards and mailers is you've got to stay on that farm for 12 months. It's very expensive. I've done a postcard here and there. I can't say I've been a full-on pitchfork farmer, 12 months in a serious neighborhood. I haven't. Yeah. I've gotten a few calls off a random postcard here and there, and then I kind of abandoned it because for me, it was just too long of a drag time and way too expensive. I can get on the phone. I know my numbers. I track them every day. And on average, I'm going to set at least one appointment a day. They don't always all pre-qualify or come through, but if I'm calling 2 to 3 hours a day, I'm going to find somebody that needs my help. And that can look like a listing appointment. It can look like somebody who, I get wrong numbers all the time that I send referrals out because they're thinking of doing something in another state or another area. So any type of opportunity I have to generate income for my company is worth making the calls.
I love that. So let's talk about your company for a second. So you run a team. What does your team look like? And then what really inspired the team? At what point in the process did the team become a team and evolve?
It's interesting because I started doing real estate before there was Google, and there was no Zillow. And when Zillow did come out, they didn't sell us our own leads. We actually got our own leads. A lot of people don't know that. So there was no Zillow Premier. There was no paid Zillow programming. They tricked us into getting the feed to them for free, and then they started selling us back our leads. Interesting, right? So that's the truth, though. That's the real story. And so a team back then, I had one, although it was unofficial, was just that I was carrying an inventory of 20 or 30 listings. And I had a lot of incoming calls from signs and Zillow and realtor.com, that because we didn't pay for any of those things then, or they didn't sell us our own leads. So I would, just handpick 2-3 agents in the office that I knew were hustlers. And I would say, hey, I got a buyer lead on 123 Main Street. Do you want to give them a call back? If it works out, give me 25%. So that's in essence how my team started. And it was very simple. There was no management. There was no buying of leads, none of that. Fast forward 10, 15 years to now, I have been working on building a team and what it looks like. I've changed companies to really give myself more options on how to design it. But as it stands right now, I'm the main listing agent, the rainmaker, so they say. I have one team agent under me that's more of a buyer's agent, newer, learning, that is open to coaching and has his own strategies that we're teaching as far as how he wants to hunt for business. And then I have 2 part-time virtual admins that manage everything else, the social media, the transaction coordination, the customer service. I mean, I call my clients once a week, but anything admin that's not income generating, that's their tasks.
I love that. So your team is really built to just support you. You're not trying to scale crazy. This is to support your business and what works for your life.
Right. I'm into working smarter, not harder. And so I've seen many, many teams, and there's some that are wildly successful that are buying leads and have huge teams. And I think it's amazing. Like, I stand in awe of them often, but that's not the vision for myself. I have 2 little grandbabies now. So I enjoy, being able to take my foot off the gas on occasion and not being married to the income and production of 20 or 30 agents. That's a lot of pressure and responsibility. And my team and I service our clients at a very high level. And I don't want to be drugged down by a lot of other extra administrative stuff.
I love that. Yeah, work-life balance is so important. And we're seeing a lot of team leaders come back into production and exit that role in the last year. I think because of exactly what you just said, the lack of just any flexibility in your life. The work-life balance is gone when you have dedicated yourself to that many other people outside of your household and their success. And few have done it as well as some, that we see that are at the top. But I love that you're crystal clear on that. That's not part of my vision.
It's very cool to design a life. And this is really just in the last 5 years, probably since COVID, which changed things for a lot of us. We learned how to work differently. And so I was like, I can really design the team and the life that I want to create. So it's been really fun.
I love that. Okay, let's talk about now. We've talked a lot about the past. We did just hear who makes up your team. Let's talk a little bit about what prospecting looks like. Are you the only prospector?
Yes and no, right? Because prospecting has a different meaning to some younger agents than
you're right. I should say phone prospector. Phone prospector.
So I currently on my team am the only one that's calling for sale by owners, expireds, withdrawals, and still doing that. My team agent's really big on Instagram. He likes to do videos, and I do some of that too, but that's his main prospecting, and he's been very successful at it. He's learning to talk to everybody. He talks to people in parking lots. He talks to the new home sales agents. So he's learning to dig for opportunities at every corner. And I think the most important thing when you're talking to new agents is understanding that there's no right or wrong way to do this. The main goal and main focus is that you are talking to people every day. Anybody at the grocery store, at the library, at your gym, whatever it takes, it's about getting in front of people every day. And you can't be a secret agent. They need to know that you're there to help them and make magic happen in their life.
Yes, agreed. We had a big event yesterday, and that was one of the points that one of the speakers drove home was like, everywhere you are is an opportunity. And when you can unlock that in your brain and understand it and then put that into action, you're unstoppable.
It's smoke and fire coming out of everywhere.
People want to turn it on and off. And it's like real estate is one of those industries where you grow by it just, one big coach calls it as like you internalize that this is just you. You're becoming that role in and out of the office. And that's what drives huge success is just always, like you said, putting it first that like, this is what I do and this is how I can help you if you need that in every conversation as you meet people. I love that.
People get stuck on the right or wrong of how to do it. Like, oh, should I call this source or that source or whatever? And it's there's no magic formula. It's just about But going out there, sometimes you're going to fall in a mud puddle and get dirty, and you got to brush yourself off and keep going.
Yeah, internally. So for years, everyone thinks Redx provides leads. We provide data, which is an opportunity to make a contact with the homeowner. So
Right.
if you're great at your job, every wrong number is still a great opportunity. If
Yes.
you can convert that, then it doesn't matter whether or not the numbers are right or wrong. You're there to help somebody. And when people can shift from like, this was a bad lead because maybe the number didn't match, or it was like their kid's number, whatever it was, to, hey, that was still an opportunity, and be able to be that flexible on the phone because you've internalized your script and it's a part of you. It's not something that's owning you in the conversation.
Yeah, I coach my agents to just keep asking questions, play the hang up game, right? And so I get somebody on the phone and they're like, oh, I don't own that house. I'm in New Mexico now. I just say, well, that's great. I'm with a global company. What real estate needs do you have there this year we could help you with?
Yes.
And just being relentless not in a creepy, aggressive way, in a, how can I be of service to you today in New Mexico?
Yeah. Real estate is the ultimate customer service role. Like,
yeah,
people are at the height of stress related to real estate and making one of the biggest decisions of their life. And so I remind our team of this internally. Like, if we can just provide good customer service when someone is frustrated by something, that makes the situation 10 times easier. And so, yeah, being able to own that conversation and help them wherever they stand is amazing. I love that.
And I remind them all the time that this is a weird market, right? No matter where you are listening to this, or what state or what country, like, your customers have questions. Like, people you haven't met have questions. They're hearing conflicting things on social media and the news. You are the expert. Don't be afraid to go in that conversation and tell them the truth.
Yeah. And we make that so much easier inside of every, I don't want to say lead, inside of every data, every address that we pull up inside of Redx, with all of the data listed, we give market insights. So it allows you to have that conversation very knowledgeably. And so you go into the conversation with insight on the home, insight on the homeowner, the property, details that are public, and stuff that maybe you would really have to really dig for. So some really cool insight there to help craft that conversation on top of what's going on in the market. So you can own that piece of the puzzle, because I do think for some people that doesn't come as naturally to be in the know on what's going on in their market. So we definitely try to help there too. So let's talk about tools and tech for a second. You've been a longtime user of Redx, and we're grateful for all of the support you give us in our communities. But let's talk, besides Redx, maybe what tools you and your team rely on.
Good question. The tools that we rely on heavy right now is our CRM. And again, I get this question all the time. What's the best CRM? The one you use.
That's the answer.
You guys have tools built into your system that can almost function as a CRM in some capacity. Many companies offer their own versions of CRM. I'm using Bold Trail right now, which used to be KV Core, and they all have incredible capabilities, more than I can even speak to, because I'm still constantly learning. So, how do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. Allot time, once a week to learn a new skill, figure out a new implementation. Right now, we've been using our CRM and Redx data to, target. We have a down payment assistance program that's launching on December 1st. So, anybody that we've spoke to that said they were interested in buying is getting a text and an email from us, because that program is limited with that window opening December 1st. So, keep in mind that you are building a database as you contact that data and figuring out, you're categorizing it and classifying it in Redx or your CRM. So CRM, I think, is number one for us right now. We also use other technology for like collecting reviews. There's a couple different companies, Real Satisfied and different things like that you can use. We use those reviews then for obviously SEO and social media posts. And I would say the third one we're into right now is I don't know if I want to say names or brands, but basically any kind of software that helps you with scheduling. And I know you guys have a component of content creation and scheduling as well, which I've used. And I honestly don't know if that's the one we're still using, but any one of them are great because the key is, again, not doing it perfect or right, just doing it.
Doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever you use is the right one.
Just set it up, take, the 30 minutes a week and learn the new skill and just make the post. Everyone is so afraid of the first post. I was afraid of the first post. I'm afraid of every video I make. If you follow me on social media, don't think it comes easy to me. It's nerve-wracking, but
yeah, you got to work
put it out there.
Practice makes perfect, as my mother always said.
Yes.
Okay, let's go into one segment that people always ask about, your time blocking. We did talk about early in 06, that morning, those morning hours were so important to you, dropping the kids off, getting to the office. Is your schedule really still mirrored today, meaning you always phone prospect in the morning? And then tell us what the balance is with your time blocking regarding your team.
Yeah, good question, because it does, I don't want to say, for me, it hasn't changed. My mornings are still sacred. Now, listen, I'm human. So if I have a customer coming in from out of town and he's only available that morning, yes, I'm going to flip something around to make that work for him. But otherwise, I mean, if you looked at my Google schedule right now, it is time blocked every morning for lead generation / prospecting. And it's color coded green because that's my money time. Green for money. Right. So it always reminds me that unless there's something that's on fire, I am not going to interrupt that standing appointment for my money time. That being said, my afternoons look a little different. I don't go on as many appointments as I used to. I don't take as many buyers as I used to. The only buyers I take are like by referral or certain price points. So I'm giving more of those leads away. And then my afternoons deal with more leadership tasks. I do coaching for my team and my organization. Sometimes I'll do group calls or presentations for different teams or groups and, just in collaboration for things and things like this. So I do still do some listing appointments. I've actually even done a couple of open houses this year, which is fun because it actually allowed me to build an open house system, which I never had before. So that was kind of a fun experiment. Basically, I'm doing a lot more leadership things that keep my mind busy.
Yeah. The time.
But it never interrupts the lead generation time in the morning. That's still always the same.
That's the one thing that's always sacred, no matter what.
100%. If I don't do it, I feel loopy. Like my day's all messed up.
I feel that. I have certain morning rituals as well. I work a little earlier than the rest of the team here to just get in and get set up mentally before everyone else and the chaos begins.
I will also say too, as my business has grown and as I've gotten older, I have a lot more mindset routines. So for people that are, struggling and stressed out or whatever, like I have a daily gratitude group that I text in every day, which these are very little silly, almost people like yah tasks, but like they're not tasks to me. They're just taking a moment to remind myself, like, today's a great day. I get to do this. I'm honored to be able to be with Hannah today. I'm honored to be able to coach anybody. So I have my gratitude group. I have, I journal in the evenings, not as consistently as I want to. Meditation is a thing for us in the evenings to take it down a notch, get rid of the phone and the TV. Yeah. So a lot of things to just take care of my own health and wellness are big game changers in my daily schedule too.
It's clear that mindset is a passion of yours and something you've really focused and honed in on, which is rare. I think everyone talks about mindset, but to actually prioritize the mindset and the mental health going into the day is a different.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's a different commitment for sure. I mean, I every day am like, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then the world starts. And having two little ones at home, still that's really the challenge for me. Is
for sure.
You never know what you're dealing with when you wake up.
Never.
Yeah, it's crystal clear that you have done a great job of that and protecting that for yourself. What has someone taught you? Are there like guiding principles? Tell me what shaped success in that for you, because that's hard for people to accomplish.
It is. And I recognize it. And it hasn't always been, I've been in your seat, Hannah, where I had two girls 22 months apart and I was just hustling. I barely had time to like brush my hair before I was out the door. So I get that part too. Again, I would say it comes with grace, right? We're all in different phases of this journey. So if for you, I get, 10 minutes in the evening to just journal my thoughts and like kind of let it all out, my joy, my frustration, whatever that is. That might be your thing. For someone else, they may like to get up early and have their coffee and do their little gratitude list or their journaling then, or maybe they do some yoga or meditation or whatever they're into. There's no right or wrong thing. It's just finding the thing that works for your schedule. And then, of course, the basics, like staying away from news, staying away from negative people. And I know they're living in your house sometimes and you can't help it, but just, you got to do the best you can to like, if you don't have that at home. I'm a big book person. Like I read Brene Brown and Darren Hardy and all kinds of different authors. If you follow me on Instagram or email me, I actually have a book of the month club I send out to agents that have connected with me on what am I reading this month and what do I recommend for others to strengthen their mindset or learn a new business skill.
Tell us what the monthly book is right now.
I was thinking you were going to ask me this and I already forgot because I'm always reading 2 or 3 at once.
Tell us a past one. What's a favorite?
So the one I have loaded, I'm looking at it right now in my Audible right now, is Start With Why.
Start With Why.
That's Simon Sinek, but I was reading another one and I just Die With Zero. I'm kind of halfway in between Bill Perkins.
Okay.
That's my second run at this one because it's pretty analytical. So that's not how my brain works, but it's really fascinating. I've just started Quiet Mind, Epic Life with Matthew Ferry.
Okay.
And then another one Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy.
Nice selection.
I know. Okay. I've got massive ADD, so I'm in the middle of 4 books.
I don't think I could track, but I'm impressed.
Sometimes I'm on a plane and I just want something chill. And sometimes I'm putting my makeup on and gearing up for a big day and I want something a little more ferocious.
Yes. I love that. Good balance. Good balance. Yeah. Let's jump into single momhood for a second.
Sure.
What pieces of the puzzle, and we can talk specific to mindset because we're talking about that, but what about being a single mom really crafted the way you ran your real estate business and influenced your mindset in the business?
Great question. A couple things come to my mind first, and we already talked about it, so I don't want to beat the dead horse, but the biggest things for me with being a single mom was my schedule. Yeah. I was at every, cheerleading competition. Sometimes I traveled with her. I was at every soccer game. I was at every orchestra recital. I worked during the times that I was scheduled to work so that I could be off when I needed to be off and be a present parent. That's a oxymoron in real estate, but as present as I could be, with making sure I could at least be in attendance and monitor my phone reasonably. So I always said my schedule gave me freedom. Some people feel like choked by the schedule, like, I don't want to be told what to do. But the truth is, when you have a schedule, it gives you freedom. Because I knew the hours that I was supposed to work. And if I did what I was supposed to do during that time, I didn't feel guilty about taking the weekend off. So that's the first thing that came to mind. The second thing that came to mind was, again, I had 2 young girls that watched me grow up in this business. My youngest starting kindergarten, my oldest in 2nd grade. And so I always remember that, like, at that age, I was watching my parents and what they were doing and how they were acting. And so I wanted them to be proud of me. I wanted them to see that, and no matter what came at us, and I obviously didn't intend to be divorced and a single mom during this era, but that's what happened. And I wanted them to see that no matter what life throws at you, you can persevere, whether it was the crazy crash of 2006, whether it was a failed relationship, like that I was still capable of being a great mom, a great real estate professional, a great business owner, a great daughter, a great mother, all the things. And so I wanted them to understand that strength in themselves when they face adversity as they've gotten older.
You sound like an incredible mom. And I'm sure your girls would agree to that. To have a mom with a lot of grit and consistency to keep showing up. It's the number one things kids need in life is, the commitment to show up in quality time. So crafting your business schedule around that initiative, to be there and be present and to show them that all you gotta do is pull up your bootstraps sometimes, that it really just takes staying consistent and showing up over and over, as long as you have the right model and flow. You'll be successful. I love that. I know your girls are
Thank
proud
you.
of you.
I wasn't always probably pleasant, but sometimes I was probably pretty tired and maybe a little cranky, but I was always there. I was not going to miss out on anything. And I truly believed I could do it all. And I wanted them to have that same message.
I love that. Let's segue out of that for a second and talk about advice for agents as we wrap up. If you were coaching or just interacting with a brand new agent today, or even just an agent that's feeling stuck, what do you want them to know?
I work with agents that are in that exact scenario every single day, feeling stuck, feeling frustrated, brand new, don't know where to start, don't know what they're doing wrong, you name it. Again, it sounds boring and redundant, but it's find what works for you. Some people look at me like the three-headed monster. They're never going to call an expired or a FSBO. And I don't coach them to do that.
Yeah.
The data is available to them. I'm happy to work with them and teach them, but they're not going to. Not everybody is like me. So then let's go door knocking. Let's talk to just solds. Let's do an open house. Let's go to a networking event. Let's make videos on Instagram. Do something, make a plan, set a 90-day goal to reevaluate that plan. Because the other thing I hear is like, well, I called 2 expireds today and it didn't work. I'm not doing it again. It doesn't work like that for anything. It doesn't work like that with going to the gym. It doesn't work like that on a skincare routine, nothing. Like set a 90-day goal. I know it seems like a long time. If that stresses you out, set a 30-day goal and then evaluate it after 90 days and you repeat it 3 times.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Commit to what it is that activity is that you're going to be doing. Get the right people, the right coaches, the right mentors. One thing I didn't say is, attributing that Mike Ferry was a great mentor to me. I've had a lot of great coaches. I still do. So get yourself surrounded with the right people, commit to the activity you're committed to, stay with it for at least 30 days times 3, evaluate it after 90 days, and then decide, is this something I'm going to keep doing? Or is it time for me to try something else?
I love that. The market always rewards consistency. So I'm with you. Stay consistent. And that's what we recommend here. Give it 90 days. If you can be consistent, it doesn't even take that long. It could take 2 weeks. But if you're consistent, you can't lose. Like it's really that simple. And you're right. Not everyone's going to pick up the phone, which is why we offer tons of other marketing tools inside our platform. But if you can pick something and stay consistent, just like we talked about postcards, like some people, they're consistent on postcards and they work for them. It doesn't work for everybody, but figure out what works for you and your market and stay consistent. I love that.
And find your people. Like, I've left different companies and so have some of my friends, and we'll still make a plan to get together once a month and make calls together. So, whatever it is, find the people that are supporting your goals. Don't hang out with the guy at the water cooler that's like, oh, you're calling again, or you're mailing postcards again. Like, get away from that person.
Mindset. Yes. Remove all that junk. Yeah, agreed. In life in general, but agreed, especially around
Find your video recording buddy. I'll record you at this new home track and you record me. And like, I've done that before too. Like, just find your people, commit, put it on your schedule and do it.
Yes. Okay. Closing question. What would 2006 Nicole be shocked to know about 2025 Nicole?
That I am an influencer making videos. Never saw that coming.
I love it.
And it's part of the job description. Yeah, it's part of the job description now. But if you had ever told me I'd be making videos and doing podcasts and things, like, she would be like, who?
Me? Yeah.
So getting uncomfortable, right? And that's what I was coached from the beginning, calling an expired or, getting the Sunday paper and reaching out to somebody who doesn't want to work with an agent, wasn't comfortable then, and doing video isn't super comfortable now, but I can do it. I'm doing it.
You're doing it. You're here. I'm grateful that you're here. Thank you for your time today. Yeah. Today was great. I love that you highlighted, what you did in 2006 still is applicable and works today. There's tons of modern options that can be applied to continue to contribute to bringing people in and drawing them in, attracting them, building your brand. But picking up the phone, at least for you, that's where the money is. So I love that you highlighted that. Cold calling is not dead. Sure, TCPA continues to hit us hard. Do not call us, still do not call us, but there's still tons of opportunity out there outside of those, those restrictions. And if people will just jump in it and get into it with the mindset that you have, where it's like every opportunity is a every conversation is an opportunity.
For sure.
How could they not win at this? Nicole, share with our listeners where they can connect with you. I know you're in a lot of circles, so share with us wherever you think we should find you and follow.
Sure. I think the easiest that everybody's into is the gram. I'm on Instagram at Nicole Las Vegas, and it's Nicole with an H, so Nichole. Las Vegas is my Instagram handle. You can also find me on Facebook, Nicole Levine personal page. The Nicole Levine group is my business page. I'm on TikTok, but I don't know what's going on there. And LinkedIn, obviously, as well. So feel free to reach out, connect. I'm always happy to help.
Thank you, Nicole. All right, guys, you heard it. Nicole Levine. Agents listening, if Nicole's system resonated with you, check out the tools and scripts she mentioned today. Redx is built specifically to help agents create predictable opportunities the same way Nicole has been doing for years. So we appreciate you guys listening. Nicole, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.